This message is for Sayaka Bashuasi. No other person named Sayaka, okay? Now, Sayaka, I want to tell you that for like the past hour or two, I felt this itch on my leg right here. Okay. Right there, itching. It takes me like 2 hours to realize, you know what that is? That's the microwave weapon being shined at that part of my body. Now, here's how I deal with that kind of thing, okay? I have this. What this is, it's metal inside here. I have a sock wrapped around some metal. So I take this, okay, and I wrap it around my leg like this, okay. And in no time, that itch goes away, but because it stops, the metal reflects microwaves and they can't cause my skin to itch like that. These folks aim that thing at that part of my leg or the other ankle, and this is part of the microcosmic harassment campaign being waged on me and my wife. It's down to details like that, okay? It's every second, every minute, one thing after another, okay? Now, this will cause that itch to go away. Now, if I have like an itch here across my abdomen, what do? Well, I have a weapon. I have a defense for that. Here's a piece of metal, thicker than that one. And what I do is I take this and I put it in my pants like this. And I got one for the back too. Here's here. I put that in. And that stops any itch across here. Okay? Now people are going to say there's scientific reasons that metal across your body like that will stop an itch. I don't know what they are. Now, I've said that I pretty much cured a 40-year cough for which I'm still able to get medicines if I want. I don't get them, but I have some of the old methods still around, and I got one right over here. This is a prescription inhaler of, I guess, albuterol for somebody with asthma, right? And I don't have asthma, but for years I used this kind of thing to stop the cough until I said, well, listen, I'm a very healthy guy. I never had any allergies growing up, never had any health problems at all. I said, what is this? So when I got to the point where I could say no to these things, I did. And, well, I don't use this, okay? And where's my cough? I don't have a cough. I do cough, but not like I did, okay? And the reason is this. These are pieces of sheet metal here. This is pretty thick sheet metal. Right here is even thicker. Can't even bend this one. And I made this for myself. And these are a pair of old jeans I used to cover the sheet metal. And I put this over my head like this. And I can pull this to make this fit better. Okay, and this, generally I wear it like this. The shorter piece on the front. And I sleep with this on, okay? And as well, whenever I drive my car, I have this on. Okay, so there's that, okay? I made this for myself. Where's the cough? Okay, no more medicines, no more trips to the doctor, okay? Now, In addition, I have apparently pinched nerves at the base of my spine on each side, okay? So these folks aim their microwaves or whatever they're aiming at that part of my body to aggravate those injuries. I'm sure that the muscles down there would have taken over and I wouldn't have any pain down there at all. But these folks were always trying to aggravate those pinched nerves. So here's what I've designed to help me with that. This is a piece of sheet metal here. And I sleep with this on. Like this. I go to sleep, I have this on, and I have this on. Like that. And there's the back piece too. And that's the way I sleep. Okay, to protect myself. And, I haven't completely ridded myself of the cough. Because I can't walk around everywhere with this on, and they can hit me with that thing, and I'll start to cough when they do. So, in addition, what else have I done? Well, to protect my head, I bought this online. It's a hard hat. It's an aluminum hard hat, and these will reflect microwaves. I read online that aluminum like this will reflect microwaves. If somebody's aiming microwaves at your head and you protect your head with this, those microwaves will be reflected and they won't hit your head. So there's that. Now, I often sleep with this on, believe it or not. I go to bed, I have this on, this, and this. And I lay back in bed and sleep this way. Okay, now, these folks doing this to me, okay, they were going after my prostate, okay? And when they started to go after my prostate, it was almost impossible for me to pee. Okay, my metaphor was, I felt like I was peeing under a 200-ton, the crack under a 200-ton building. Those were the words in my head, okay? Which means there's nowhere to pee, right? Because you can't pee at all. But I did not go to the doctor or anything, and I started to experiment with sheet metal. So I beat them on this completely, okay? I found a place to pee in the house where I've got things set up where they cannot stop me from peeing the way I've set them up, and I'll show you where that is. Okay? It's in our attic. I got these folks beat. They cannot stop me from peeing in here. And it's no longer, I feel like I'm peeing under a 200-ton building. No, I pee normally. I pee normally and they can't stop me. They try to, but they can't. Okay, so we're in the attic here. And here's the beginning of my defense here. These are, let me turn on another light here. These are part of fluorescent lights, like these up here. These, what you're looking at here, these things here, that's what these are. These were lights that were in our basement that we took down. And so I took those and I set them up as my first defense here. Okay? And what I found is, I take this piece of sheet metal here, okay, and I hold this in front of myself, behind these, and I have another piece here, right here. These folks just shut my camera off because they're in my camera. They shut my camera off. Now, here's another piece here, and I wear this on my back. I don't know if you can see that. Anyway, I have them here, and I hold one out in front of me, and here are my pee containers. What you can see here. I got two. Okay? Now, in addition to making me able to pee this way, these containers of pee in the attic are keeping these folks from releasing raccoons into our attic in the springtime, which causes us immense problems to get them out. It's expensive and it takes a lot of time, okay? They did that twice to us so far. And so that was part of the reason why I started to pee in here, because I figured no raccoon is going to set up in our attic to have babies in the springtime when they smell this urine up here. They're just not going to do it, and they haven't. So it's got a double purpose here. It keeps these monstrously evil people from doing things like releasing raccoons into our attic, and stopping me from peeing. Now, why do I have this thing set up the way it does? It looks like it's in a straight line here, doesn't it? And where is it pointing? It's pointing this way, huh? You see my hand? Yeah, it's pointing this way, into that corner over there. Why is that? Well, we see on the Scott Paley report on 60 Minutes that these microwave weapons can be carted around in a car. And what I think is, this particular one is in the trunk of the neighbor's car. And if you draw a straight line this direction and go downward, you're going to come to the trunk of that car. Or if it's not there, it's going to be a little bit moved over that way, okay? And the way I have things set up, it's no more that I have a difficulty peeing, okay? It's not there. And I'm not taking any medications or seeing any doctors. And this was a major problem. They were really stopping me from peeing, okay? But no more. And, when I go out in public, I don't have any trouble at all out in public, okay? Most of the time, I've noticed that men's bathrooms now, they have metal dividers between the stalls and even between the urinals. So somebody's catching on that those metal dividers and those metal walls to the stalls in men's rooms, they're stopping microwaves from causing older folks or maybe younger folks to have trouble peeing. The air is full of microwaves from what I've read, because the phones we use, these cell phones, operate by them somehow. Nevertheless, these are directed microwaves, probably from satellites in cars and God knows how else, okay, coming at me. So those are some of my defenses, okay? And am I going to get anybody to believe this? Well, my wife, okay, she told me around the time I got married to her, I was telling her about some of the horrific things that happened to me when I was 28 years old trying to. And she said, if I'd have been there at the time, I'd have believed the things you were saying, okay, about reality, okay? I'm not going to repeat what they were, but they were kind of like what I'm talking about now, things that people are not going to believe, right? Nevertheless, now we've been married for over 30 years, and she doesn't believe a word of this. So I'm telling her, I stopped my cough, I've stopped my stomach trouble, no prostate problems, and so on, and you don't believe when I'm showing you that this has happened. So I am completely alone in the world on all this, being harassed daily, and so is my wife. My wife is being harassed all day long, and she's coming to me all day long upset, but she doesn't believe a word of what I'm saying right now. Not a word. So I'm just trying to let you know my situation. Now, I'm not going to your country to see cherry blossoms for a number of reasons, okay? One is the expense, okay? But if I had a realistic chance of meeting you over there, I would pay the money. I've been there 3 times, and as far as I can see, I cannot find you no matter how hard I try over there. Now, the first time, the folks poisoned my food on the plane, so that when I'm going through customs, there's water squirting out of my derriere. And I'm going through customs. The guy says, passport, please. Like that. Like I took Fleet's enemas for 2 colonoscopies I've had. And those Fleet's enemas, exactly the experience of what happened to me when I was going through customs. Right after I ate a little cheese sandwich before I got off the plane, they served to me. like minutes before I get off the plane, they give me this little cheese sandwich. And when I'm coming off the plane, water starting to squirt out of my derriere. Okay, so that happened. I got to tell you, most people would not have made it through that experience. I did not know the language of your country. I did not know how to read it, speak it, or understand a word of it. I did not know anything about your country at all. The city I was in, nothing. Okay, I didn't have a map, and I had no phone service on my phone because I'd given the SIM card that my wife and I shared that SIM card. I gave it to her before I left, so I had no phone service at all. And I'm over in this place where I know nothing, and I got to get to a hotel and so on, and find the place. And I did all that to try to get to you, but I made 2 more trips, and I brought my wife each time. And there was no way. We tried to meet you. The last time, these folks were directing some kind of energy at me, possibly ultrasound, that made me so nauseous I could hardly walk. So I barely got to the meeting place at 3 o'clock. And then I only stayed at that meeting place 2 minutes because I thought I was going to vomit all over that pristine park. And anyway, I've determined I don't know where you live. And I read online, it's illegal to even look for you. Okay. So I am not going to go to your country another time. Okay. So what does that leave? It leaves you got to come here. You have got to come here or get me a message somehow. That's all. Now, I've explained to you my where I'm at on this, okay? Obviously, I think enough of you, I've waited and been faithful. I mean, it sounds bizarre to say that, but you're worth it to me to put up all this fight to try to get to you, but I'm at the end of everything I can do on my part to try to get to you. You've got to come to me. Now, you may not even see this video because I look online, and what do I see when I look at the videos I've been putting online? And I put maybe 1,000 videos on over the past 3 years. What do I see? I see 0 views on most of them. These folks got hold of my phone. I see 0 views. So it may be you're not even able to see this message I'm trying to get to you. Nevertheless, if you meant the things that I believe you said to me, you've got to show up here because I cannot get to you. Now, you may, if you can't even see this message, you may figure, well, he's not doing anything to get to me and so on, and I'm giving this up. Well, if that happens, I'm deeply sorry. But as I say, I'm somebody trapped, being bullied, and I'm overwhelmed by my enemy. Okay? So that's all from me for now. Today is the 30th of March. Let me make sure. It's a Monday. Yeah, March 30th, Monday. Here's another defense I got. I got 5 phones like this to be making these videos I've been making for you and for you alone. I'm not making the videos for any other reason. I'm not trying to get a YouTube following, be a successful this or successful that, make money on you. No, I don't care about that. Once you and me get together, that ends, as far as I can tell. I have no desire to be a writer or professional, this or that, to be successful in anything. I do not want to work at all. I don't want to work. I'm retired, and I got a lot of reasons for not wanting to work. I'm not going to go into them right now, but the workplace is not a place for me, I've found. It's like a prison, so I don't want to go into that work world at all. So I want to be a successful this to that and other. I want to be successful at getting to you and you getting to me. That's where my success is. And what I was saying to myself today is, I love the Beatles. And what I say is, I didn't want to be a Beatle. But to me, getting to my true, let's call it, let's put it in words like this, my true you, okay? That's like the success of the Beatles. The success of the Beatles to them, the worldwide fame and success they had as musicians and rock stars and all that, for me, I get that by a successful quest to you. When that quest becomes successful, I become a Beatle in my way. I'm worldwide famous. I'm rich, and so on. What I've been saying, also, you've heard before from me. I've said, as far as I'm concerned, you're $43 billion worth of woman. Okay, that guy Bill Gates, he apparently has. At one time, he had $43 billion to his name. Well, I don't want $43 billion. Okay, but metaphorically, I'd like to have $43 billion a woman, which is what you are to me. Bye for now.